Hi guys, in this short video I want to talk about the example. Haiyaa has many examples. I will record videos one by one to introduce different examples. I think many person has got Haiyaa examples in different, for example, exhibition or event or seminar. But I'm afraid they don't know the secret in the content of the example. So I will introduce this example, and later I will introduce another example, and then let you know what the special features are in this example. Okay, this is the first example. Most of the contents in this example is about security printing or brand protection. I make a PPT to have an introduction of this example. Actually, we develop our security features in three directions. The first is make full use of smartphone, mobile internet, a colorful or black-white 2D barcode, and plus various types of authentication pattern to form a solution to let the consumer enjoy the product authentication by themselves, then to do the real product authentication. So in example, I will introduce some features related to this direction. And the second is Haiyaa's effort is make more traditional security features widely produced by the offset printers. We make it the content variable. And finally is totally innovative technology developed based on the digital printer's latest technology and the new substrate. I look at this example, there's no features showing this direction. I will skip it. I go back. In these examples, I divided the features, the patterns into different applications. First, I will talk about the make full use of smartphone, mobile internet, colorful QR code, or the pattern, the authentication pattern like this. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. I go back. For example, it's not a new one, but about 5-7 years ago, it's a new one. New solution or technology how to use a smartphone, because smartphone is widely used around the world. So how to make full use of smartphone is a very important topic and a very useful topic. In Haiyaa side, we developed this kinds of pattern many years ago, not now. This pattern called digital fiber. We simulate the physical fiber. We support the CMYK, the spot color. I go back to our website. This is the fiber pattern. Why we develop it? Actually, on the market, there's another supplier. They're using physical digital fiber as a pattern. But finally, they found it's a huge cost because they need to using physical way to spray fiber onto the paper. And later, they will need a high frequency camera to capture the fiber pattern and store the photo onto the cloud. The then is sometimes the physical fiber will be lost, so it can be matched. So in this reason, Haiyaa developed a totally digital fiber pattern. Naturally, it's 100% matched with the data because it's digital. The fiber will not lost. This is the curved fiber. This is short, straight, line pattern. This is a solution. That means you print on the label, you scan this QR code on your mobile phone, the pattern will appear. You can compare the pattern on the mobile phone with the pattern on the label. If it is 100% matched, that means about over 90% possibility it's a genuine. It's better you can add a counter in the website. That means after you scan it, counter will end 1, end 1, end 1. If the data is repeated scanning or reading, any user, they will know, oh, this one maybe is a huge copied fake. Of course, we are using a silver coating to cover the QR code. Before you scanning the QR code, you need to scratch the silver coating. That's way can guarantee you are first one to read the label or read the QR code. So this is a solution. Go back. You can scan this QR code. In this QR code is fully color QR code, just attractive. No another meaning. ZA5H is authentication code. We can program this color sequence based on database. So in the future, on your cloud, you can use the same color sequence information. Then you can match another information is the color sequence. So in this example, I give the name scan to match. And this one is the same, but the pattern different. It's using the Arabic number or some special icon to combine the pattern. It's also unique. And the special in this QR code, we have another element to match. It is the color sequence in 3 find the mark. So not only the QR code content you can match on your solution, this color information is another very important information you can compare. This one is another application. The idea or the concept is the same. That means you generate this pattern. Here, this pattern, I called it bacteria pattern. I think it's very interesting to apply it in the pharmacy label. Like you see the gray, black, and the yellow. Actually, in the real label, it's only gray or black. The yellow one, we use HB Indigo invisible ink to print. So when you scan this QR code, this pattern will appear on your mobile phone. There's a 3 button you can use. One button is the full sight. Full sight means you can see the full pattern. And the second is you can see the invisible. You change to invisible, only the yellow one appear. That means you can, using the UV light to shine the label, you can see this part, this part, this part shining. That means it is printed by UV ink. And the third button is the silver ink. So if you change to the button of silver ink, it looks like a gray black, but actually it's a sport color, silver ink. So in this example, if you get the example from HB Indigo, you can compare 3 patterns. So we have more pattern to compare. In this colorful QR code, it's very special. I'll show you. Like this. If you see the video, you can scan the screen and to see what's happening. And in this QR code, not only the content of QR we can match or compare, we also have another information. The first one is the centered part. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just example. You can put micro text or micro image. And the special is in 3 find the mark. For example, we embedded micro text. I changed to print review. You can see it here. You see it? We embedded micro text into this position. This micro text can be variable or programmed based on database. So you have another information to compare. Besides, we also supported this type. That means the black ink and the background is the overprint relationship. So it will not affect the reading of QR code. You see it. Another special is for this example is I change another one. Maybe you can see clearly. Okay, like this. We can embed a small picture. I call it mini image. So you have another information to compare and make it a little bit interesting. The important this QR code is we apply 4 color sequence. Here is the red, dark blue, green. What is used for? The first purpose is attract the end user or consumer to scan the QR code. Another purpose is this color information is another very important authentication information, so you can use it. For example, in this label is red, dark blue, green. In another label is dark blue, black, dark blue. And the third is another color. And this one is colorful Wendy barcode. We have a partner, they develop an app. They can scan this Wendy barcode and get information that to compare. The content is the same, but each line, the color on different label is different. So it is also a very important information you can compare. And go back. I also put this one in this slide. It is 2 purpose, attractive, and also it is the pattern. You can use this pattern working with QR code. We can generate this pattern into PDF or PNG file. You can upload this pattern onto the cloud and create a link with QR code. So when you scan the QR code on your mobile authentication code, it's colorful, very interesting. You can see 3870. So 3870. We also embedded or insert the variable text into the stroke, and every stroke is colorful. We call it a random color stroke pattern. Of course, you can use these features not working with QR. Just use it as authentication code or use it as a general random code on your label. It's also a very interesting feature, not only for security. Besides this one, I have another features you can apply. Caterpillar, the same idea. You can work together with QR or just using these features on your label. Colorful, different character, different size, and on the top and the bottom is a colorful line, like a caterpillar. So I give the name caterpillar, random color caterpillar. Okay, go back. And this one is very interesting. I show you. We have a real case. In this pattern, here you can see the fiber pattern. But in this example, the fiber pattern is not the curved line. It's a line combined with microtest. That means besides the pattern is different, the line, the content is different. It can be variable. Here we input our company name, Haiyaa. We have a customer apply this technology. They're using their product name, company name to combine this curved line and using invisible ink to print. On the normal light, you see nothing, but under the UV light, you can see the pattern appear. So it's a high advanced features. So I call it a fiber test, not the normal digital fiber. This one is also working with invisible ink. You see on the slide, you see different color. Actually, on the real example, the same color. In the real example, it is printed by invisible ink. So you cannot see difference between the W and O. The same invisible ink. You see it? 5 is spot color. W in the future is printed by invisible ink. This application is if your printer has invisible ink. So you can make this pattern. And in Haiyaa software, we have a special utility. We can generate these kinds of pattern in advance. Totally randomly, we produce in advance this kinds of pattern. And you import this pattern into the label and using the invisible ink to print. On the normal light, you see nothing. But if you're using the UV light to shine, you can see this character will shine. So you can use in the QR code to link this pattern and go back. Second is we also develop some features on this example. It's a traditional offset printing. For example, here is the anti-photocopy pattern. Anti-photocopy pattern is a widely used traditional offset security printing feature. But Haiyaa's effort is use the variable technology, make the content a variable. This content include variable text or variable image. We embed it into this pattern, make a watermark. So when you scan this document, the hidden watermark will come out. It's easy to understand. I show you anti-photocopy like this. This is original, but after copying, here is the variable text. And this is also a widely used traditional offset security printing features. I call it a lenticular image. If you get this example, you need to get 100 LPI lenticular film. Otherwise, no sense to you. If you have the 100 LPI lenticular film, you can try to read the hidden watermark because we made it using the 100 LPI lenticular parameter. So you need to use the same LPI lenticular film to read. Otherwise, you see nothing. So in this example, you're using 100 LPI lenticular film, can locate 0, 15, 45, 75 to see what's happening. Actually, it's like this, using a lenticular film. This traditional brand protection way, Haiyaa's effort is make different layers together. Each layer can be variable and programmed based on database. I know on the market, there are a few companies, software companies can provide these kinds of lenticular image. They always provide one layer. We can support up to 4 layers. 4 layers is enough. Otherwise, much layer will look stuck. It's not good. Each layer can be linked to database. We can also support CMYK and spot color. And this pattern, I call it LineInFont, this feature. That means we're using colorful line to combine the font. The color sequence is another information for authentication. It's widely used in the passport, driving license, these kinds of documents. For example, this passport, the first line is red. Another person passport, the first line is blue. So the text is combined with different color lines. LineInFont, the special, we can divide it into two parts. Some software or in some application, they call it half color font. Actually, for Haiyaa, it's a LineInFont special usage. 2 lines, the lines width is sync, call it half color font. We also provide this testing font. That means the variable text inside the variable text. And another is, in this example, this one is we're using the variable font to combine the variable image. Here I call it portrait is combined with her or his name. It's also a secret features for passport, driving card, some ID card. There's 2 photos. One is a normal photo. Another photo is like this. In another software, they will call it font screening, but in Haiyaa site, I call it PictureInFont. In this example, I also embedded the micro test 1, 2, 3, 4. This example printed by different printing. Indicate the height of this micro test. You can measure it by yourself. The height is about 0.25 or 24 millimeter in this part, not only in the colorful image, but also you can check micro test. In this example, we also give this feature on it. Haiyaa has a special technology. We can make a very small QR code or very small data matrix. Here is a data matrix. We have a real case or real customer application. They're using 17 digits to combine the data matrix. We can make it smaller, 2.35 millimeter. The readability is very high, but we can reach to 85% A level and 15 B level. We make the dot very small to compensate the dot gain. On UV inkjet or electronic ink printing, the dot gain is happening heavily. This technology not only for the QR code data matrix, we also can apply it to one debug. I call it improve the digital printing quality and the barcode readability, especially useful for UV inkjet and electronics printer. And the last one in the example is, I call it free cut. It's a very special. We cut the font and give the color randomly and move a little bit offset, so you can see very interesting and colorful font. This one, I show you another example like this. Free cut it and give the color. Very interesting. Okay, I explain each part and give you a briefing idea. So in the future, if you have this sample at your hand, you get the real idea of each part. If you have any question, please contact us. This is the end of this video. Thanks for your watching.